How's it going? I'm ItFightsBack, and today I'm going to count down the top 5 things I hope to see in the upcoming 3.15 Path of Exile expansion. Hit the like button and subscribe to help support my channel. Let's get this underway. I really hope you enjoy. Number 5. Juggernaut. When I imagine a Juggernaut, I think this would be the class with unmatchable defenses. In its current state, I do not feel that the Juggernaut quite fills this niche. The main defining trait of the Juggernaut is the ability to easily gain endurance charges while also receiving additional buffs for having them. There are many ways to gain endurance charges in the game, and I feel the Juggernaut buffs to endurance charges slightly miss the mark. A minor change to a single ascendancy node would give the Juggernaut unmatchable defenses in a similar way to the dodge superiority of the Raider. The Unrelenting Ascendancy node currently gives 1% additional physical damage per endurance charge, 8% reduced elemental damage taken while at maximum endurance charges, and 4% chaos resistance per endurance charge. 8% reduced elemental damage is effectively plus 2 maximum elemental resistances while at max endurance charges. I would like to see this line removed and instead for the Juggernaut to gain plus 1 maximum elemental resistances per endurance charge. Should this need a downside, I would have the elemental resistances gained from having endurance charges removed. Even still, this would not be enough to effectively mitigate the up to minus 12 to maximum resistances mod that can roll on red maps. Number 4. Cybertour. The Cybertour is the class dedicated primarily to the use of traps and mines. Having recently played a Cybertour trapper myself, I felt it was missing something. There are some strong and unique perks to being a Cybertour, such as up to 10% life regeneration by using your traps and mines, ignite and shock immunity, and the ability to easily blind enemies while taking reduced damage from blinded enemies. The big downside to using traps and mines is that a large majority of on-kill effects do not work, as the game considers the trap or mine to have killed the enemy rather than you. The place this hurts the most is the ability to gain elusive on kill, which is right in the starting area of the shadow. As opposed to changing the way this game mechanic works, I would instead add another ascendancy node on the backside of Born in the Shadows. I would like to see an ascendancy node that gives a chance to grant elusive on hitting a blind enemy and an additional 10% reduced damage taken while elusive. This would make dodge a viable defensive path for the Cybertour while also fitting with the theme of the class. Number 3. Fortify. Fortify is far and above the strongest source of damage mitigation that exists in the game. While you have Fortify, you take a base of 20% reduced damage taken from hits. Every strongly defensive build in the game seeks to have Fortify, and it provides too strong of a buff for its accessibility. Because Fortify is so strong, there are very few sources available to increase the effectiveness of Fortify. I would like to see the effectiveness of Fortify reduced from 20% to 15%, and additional sources of Fortify effect added to the passive tree as well as cluster jewels so that the same level of defense can be reached, though requiring more investment. This would also open the door to other classes wishing to use Fortify to have an additional avenue to scale the damage reduction. On a slightly different note, I would like to see the change to the Hardened Scars notable that was changed in 3.14 reverted to its previous state. It now only grants Fortify while recovering life from a flask rather than during the effect of a life flask. This was the only way to provide Fortify to a bow character aside from a weapon swap. It also provided a reasonable use to hybrid flasks. Number 2. XProof. There is nothing in the game that drives me crazy more than hexproof enemies. There are only 2 sources that exist in the game to mitigate the hexproof mod. Those are by being an occultist or using the Cosprey's Will chest armor. I believe the hexproof mod should not appear on rare or unique enemies, or there needs to be a more accessible way to curse hexproof enemies at a cost. I would like to see a new flask base that allows you to curse hexproof enemies during its effect. Maybe an obsidian flask or something, with 40 of 60 charges similar to a Basalt Flask. This would provide an avenue to approach hexproof maps for all classes, but at the cost of one of your flask slots. Currently, the only effective curse support players are all occultists. Almost every put-together group of players has an occultist to curse things. This change would allow the potential for other classes to possibly open the playing field for support characters. Also, please, 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 please add a life roll to Cosprey's Will. Number 1. Prophecies. The prophecy system is the most mundane, clunky, and outdated system in the game. There are some great rewards that come from prophecies hidden behind a cloud of monotony. In the Ritual League, itemized prophecy rewards were changed from being overly valuable to being redundant and meaningless. I put 2 prophecy delirium orbs on this map and dropped a prophecy to go hunt down an enemy to drop a single sacrifice fragment, and in that same map, dropped 20 sacrifice fragments. There are many prophecies that resemble chores more than rewards, and now these are the most common of the itemized prophecy rewards, as well as a majority of what you get when using silver coins. For real, there is a prophecy where you have to hunt down a specific rare enemy that will drop you a single alchemy orb, or spend an additional 3 silver coins to get rid of it. I seriously made a macro specifically for Path of Exile to delete the item on your cursor to delete unwanted prophecies. I would like to see an overhaul to the base prophecies to more resemble the changes that sextants have recently seen. Prophecies for blights, metamorphs, legions, deliriums, and the like. There are really cool unique item upgrades and powerful crafting recipes behind the system. Why does the process for getting them need to be so tedious? That is not to mention storing prophecies. They do not stack with like prophecies and have no identifying markers to identify them from each other. There was a time where fossils could not stack, but at least we could identify what they were at a glance. Now we can stack fossils. The technology is there. There is also no Atlas passives to further invest into prophecies, though you can craft a Watchstone to offer up to 25% chance for the boss to drop a single silver coin. The prophecy system needs some much needed love. That wraps up the top 5 things I personally would like to see in the upcoming 3.15 expansion. Hit the like button, subscribe to help me grow my channel, and there's 2 more petty things I want to mention. The Aquamarine Flask is pretty useless, but the radius on it is pretty terrible. There's the Aquamarine Flask. This is a Cold Snap. I would like to see that be better. The Brutus form of the tower boss as well. The slam attack, I'm going to get him to do it again here. He can auto-target you like mid-animation. See, I'm running a circle. Like the animation had him pointing in a different direction for his initial slam, yet he still is able to target me. That's all for now. See you next time.